Trump doubles U.S. tariffs on Indian goods to 50% over Russian oil purchases. August 6, 2025, Washington/New Delhi. In a dramatic escalation of trade tensions, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order raising tariffs on Indian imports from 25% to 50%, citing New Delhi's ongoing purchases of Russian oil amid the Ukraine conflict. What's changing? The additional 25% tariff will take effect 21 days after the announcement, placing the full 50% rate into effect around late August 2025. The initial 25% reciprocal tariff was already set to begin earlier this month. U.S. rationale. Trump and his administration maintain the move is necessary to counter India's continued importing of oil from Russia, which officials argue indirectly supports Moscow's war in Ukraine and poses a national security threat. Some statements suggest that similar penalties could extend to other countries importing Russian oil. India pushes back. India's Ministry of External Affairs has condemned the tariffs as unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable, emphasizing that its imports are driven by market forces and the energy needs of 1.4 billion citizens. Indian officials have pointed out that many other countries continue to buy Russian oil without facing such measures.
Donald Trump just dramatically escalated his trade war on India. Officially, the reason he added an additional 25% to the already existing 25% tariffs is because they help finance Russia's war machine. They purchase a significant amount of Russian oil. That is what the new tariffs are targeting. Behind the scenes, though, it doesn't actually have much to do with Russia at all. President Trump wants a trade deal, and he doesn't believe India is doing enough behind the scenes in its negotiations to open its markets.
We do very, very little business with India because their tariffs are so high.
So now Russia is a leverage point. Now, for anybody who might be confused by that, what's really going on here is over the course of months, India and the US have been engaged in intensive behind-the-scenes trade negotiations. Now, a number of countries have, and a number of deals have been struck. India was not one of those deals because of very high tariffs across a series of markets that the president demanded be opened up to US producers. India was not willing to do so. The president made clear he was going to use his own leverage, and not just on the 25% reciprocal tariffs that everybody's been waiting to go into place, but using those Russian oil purchases to impose something called secondary sanctions, an additional 25% on top of things. Now, keep in mind, the president can change his mind 21 days before those tariffs are actually implemented. Within those 21 days, potentially a trade deal with India. That's the goal, that's the leverage. But the actual purpose, well, it's a trade agreement and punishment for Russian oil purchases.